Okay, folks, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Opaleye Presents Know Your Pros. And today's guest, we have Shruthi Bharathur of Blue Planet Getaways Dream Vacations. And Shruthi specializes in tailoring travel experiences to meet the unique needs of her clients. She is your go-to vacation specialist, and I am psyched to have Shruthi as a guest today. Thank you, Shruthi.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. I totally appreciate it.
Of course, of course. Well, I identified you, Shruthi, as somebody who I think has a great story to tell, because stories and travel seem to go together like peaches and cream. I mean, like, you get a great story out of the travel that you go through, and you're somebody who really allows and enables their clients or her clients to have that happen. So tell me how it was that you got started in this business. How did you launch this? What led to that?
Sure. As a travel specialist, I'm so passionate about what I do. I'm sure every entrepreneur says that about their own business model. But it all started long time ago, like a fable story. The trips that we took to India. I'm from India, originally from India, in this beautiful city called Bengaluru. It's in South India. And we tend to go travel to this place very often because I still have my parents there, my extended family, my uncles, aunts, cousins. Given that I grew up in a joint family, we were a big household of people, and the center of talking was always food and travel, and that's how we grew up. So going to India is a lengthy travel. It's about 24 hours, and then you have a layover. We wanted to make the most out of this layover, right? But with family, especially when you're traveling with kids. When you travel, when you save money and travel, you always travel in cattle class. Cattle class, by cattle class, I mean economy, right? So we wanted to kind of stop by at, layovers in Europe or Middle East, check out the place for a couple of days, unwind, rejuvenate, then make your travel to India. And as such, these are the experiences that kind of really got us to enjoy the cultures, cuisines, knowing our earthly denizens, if you will. So I feel like food and travel are like two best things that have ever been good to humanity. And being a part of this travel industry and making it my own is truly what led me to start this business.
That's so cool. I mean, going back and forth, that is not an easy trip to make. But it sounded like one that you got a lot of energy out of, which is really neat. So you always derived an amount of rejuvenation, like you said, from doing stuff like that. So that leads me perfectly into the next question. I mean, like, why then this industry? I mean, like, with the travel industry the way that it is, I mean, I'm a young guy who's always thought of booking travel as sort of my responsibility. The travel agent, if you will, is sort of just like a product of the 80s or 90s. Like, that's not really something that people deal with anymore, but that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, tell me a little bit about how that came with you.
Sure. I noticed that travelers were really frustrated with such overwhelming information that's out there online, and sorting through all of that, the criterias, whether it's, for example, if it's an all-inclusive, is it beach access? Is it in a hotel zone? What are the places that I see, the tours that I visit? I truly wanted to give my clients an authentic and immersive travel experience, whatever be the case, whether it's a weekend getaway or a lengthy cruise, luxury cruise, or a 10-day Europe travel, right? I wanted to connect my audiences to the local cultures and communities, because I have partnered with these wonderful partners worldwide who are like my ears and eyes when it comes to travel, my local guides, my tour operators that connect with my clients. I treat my clients like family. The way I book my trip for my family is the way I create those itineraries for my clients. It's very personal to me. So truly giving these personal experiences, these immersive trips, and taking them on a journey that leaves them, totally spellbound and transforms them and they come back to me with such brilliant stories, and they want to repeat that same kind of trip over and again. That's why I, wanted to fill that gap, to give them this true, authentic, and immersive travel experiences of sorts. And that's why I started this particular journey of mine to become a travel specialist, which is far different from a travel agent.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in my experience, like going out of the country, or taking an extended trip, I've always dealt with, or have in the past dealt with, people who are fixers there in the local community. Like when I went to Indonesia a couple of years ago and visited Bali, um, and the fixer was great to have because he provided transportation and moved me around the island. But for the rest of the time, I mean, it was largely on me to kind of figure out what my next move was going to be. And the same thing when I took my brother down to Cabo for his bachelor party. I felt like a chicken with my head cut off, Shruti. It was just insane. I was wrangling cats, had like 16 boys running around. I didn't know what the next activity was going to be. And there were some moments where I just almost wanted to explode because I had nobody to lean on. And I mean, not to say that, Shruti specializes in bachelor parties, but that sort of
I
feeling.
do.
Oh,
Actually, I do
maybe
with
you do.
yeah, I do them all. I do
Yeah.
groups of 5, 10, 20, and more
Yeah.
seamlessly, because we have connections. We are better connected in the industry, if you will. We know the ins and outs. So we truly get a sense of what my clients need, and we're able to do that. We don't want you to hassle over things. Leave that to the experts like us.
Right.
All you should be prepared to is just pack your bags, your sunny hat, your big goggles, and your flip flops, and that's it. And leave the rest to us.
Oh, you're making me wish that I had met you earlier, Shruti, because that sounds perfect. Perfect. That leads me into my kind of last question here is, and we've been talking about this entire video. I mean, but I always ask my guests, why should somebody call you over that next business that might do something similar to what you do? And of course, you're talking about the experience. And in the beginning, what I mentioned in my introduction was that you handle every detail. You have a custom travel experience designed to really meet your every need. Can you elaborate on that at all?
Sure. So, what I mean by that is we have access to benefits that are not available for the local public as such. And I said, we are better connected. And by that, I mean we have connections in all parts of the world, whether it's a particular resort that you're going into, a car transfer, a local driver, a tour operator. We are there every step of the way. We can match prices, if not beat prices. We are like a 24/7 concierge. If things go downhill, we're there to hold your hand and bring you back up. We resolve issues at the drop of a hat. For example, I had this client of mine who was doing this multinational trip in Europe, different hopscotches in Europe, from Athens to Spain to Italy. There was a little hiccup in Spain. She didn't get the bedroom she was envisioning because, bedrooms in Europe are far smaller than what's available in the US. When you say a king size,
Yeah.
it's not a king size, or a queen size is not a queen size. So, and then and I do get those 2 a.m. calls, and I do fix those problems. She was on the phone with me till I fixed this problem and ensured that she was moved into another room that was, had the view of the Acropolis. And then she was completely taken aback, and even to this day, she's in so much awe with what we did. So these are the small little things that we really truly take care of when it comes to travel, and we're transparent and trustworthy in our pricing. There's no hidden costs in it. And what you do online, a bot can only take you this far.
Right.
A real
Yeah.
person can give you the authentic feel of what the place is all about. And we have a strong track record of delivering high quality service as such.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, I mean, we've heard like the exact thing that we need to hear about like why we want to engage with Shruti. and Blue Planet Getaways. Can you tell our viewers like how can they get in touch with you, where you'd like to be found online?
Sure. My company is called Blue Planet Getaways. It's www.blueplanetgetaways. It's as simple as that. Blue Planet Getaways with an S.com. And you can get in touch with me via a quick text. It's 805-551-4960. My response time is at lightning speed. If you send me a text within the hour, you'll hear from me, or within 10 minutes if I'm not stuck in a meeting. I respond back very quickly because I want to keep that line open to my clients. So again, it's 805-551-4960. We are on social media. Our handle, my Instagram and Facebook handle is at Blue Planet Getaways. And we're on LinkedIn. So
Of
I'm
course.
there everywhere. I'm like a genie, ready to be of service.
So if you feel like engaging with the genie, Shruti, go ahead and click all the links in the description of this video down below. We've got all of her information down there. Yeah, in the meantime, give her a call, shoot her a text. I mean, Shruti is here to help you facilitate that vacation that you've been dreaming about. And she has told this fantastic story here on Know Your Pros today. So Shruti, thank you so much for being a guest today on Know Your Pros.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate this.
Know Your Pros!